In the headlines, Abubakar Kyari replaces Abdullahi Adamu as APC National Chairman. Federal government to unveil new program to tackle banditry in northwest Nigeria. Transportation fares, eggs, oil push inflation to 22.7%. And on the foreign scene, East Ukraine fighting intensifies as Putin dismisses offensive. Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We start the update in Abuja as the Deputy National Chairman North of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Senator Abubakar Kyari, has emerged as acting chairman of the ruling APC. In line with the party's constitution, if a national chairman resigns, the deputy national chairman from the same zone will take over in acting capacity. Kyari led some members of the National Working Committee into a meeting at the party's national secretariat in Abuja amid tight security. Meanwhile, Senator Abdullahi Adamu was absent during the meeting. The National Secretary of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Senator Iola Omishore, was reported to have been shut out of the Emergency National Working Committee meeting of the ruling APC. Omishore was among the early callers at the meeting, left the party secretary without speaking to the media. The meeting is the first since the resignation of Senator Abdullahi Adamu as the national chairman of the APC. Now, the federal government is set to unveil a new program, Pulaku Solution, geared towards ending the insecurity in Nigeria's northwest region. Vice President Kashim Shettima disclosed this to journalists on Sunday at Kano State Government House. The Vice President, who had earlier paid a condolence visit to the Emir of Bichi, says insecurity in the northwestern region could only be resolved through kinetic and non-kinetic measures. The development comes less than 2 weeks after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu told the recently appointed service chiefs that there is work to be done. Tinubu reportedly made the declaration during the July 3rd meeting with the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, and the new security chiefs for the first time since their appointment on June 19, 2023. The NSA told State House correspondents that the president assured the service chiefs of his unwavering support. The NSA also underlined the commitment of the service chiefs to work tirelessly to secure Nigeria.
Is determined to redefine the meaning and concept of modern governance. And the crisis we have in the Northwest, further accentuated by poverty and social exclusion, is something that the president is determined to confront. And in the coming weeks, he is going to unveil the Pulaku solution. Unless we want to engage in an endless war of attrition, there cannot be a military solution to the crisis in the Northwest. There has to be a kinetic and non-kinetic solution. And President Bola Tinubu, in the next couple of weeks, will unveil the Pulaku solution, which will address the grievances and the social exclusion of our Pulbe cousins in the Northwest, towards addressing the root causes of all the banditry and insurgency in the nation.
Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevwori on Monday paid a visit to the family of 2-year-old Ivan Omoriakobe, killed by stray bullets from operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency at Okpanam area of Delta State. Oborevwori visited the family at the Federal Medical Center Asaba, where the younger sibling, Eromon Sele, a 1-year-old, is being treated for bullets injuries sustained in his left eye. He commiserated with the family of the demise of Ivan and promised that all efforts would be made to bring the culprits to book. The governor says the police were already investigating the matter and would make findings known to the public at the end of the inquiry.
all the treatment and all that, the state government will bear the cost, everything. So no money to be taken from the family. So please, state government take up the food bills.
Thank you.
So nothing to worry about. And I can assure you, with the help and what we have heard from His Excellency, we will do our best to ensure we are the needs to behind the whole thing. We have sent messages to the NDLE and they have responded. In no long distance, we'll be able to come out with reports that will be made known to the members of the public.
To Osun State now, where the State University has suspended a 100-level student of its Department of English and Literary Studies for her alleged involvement in robbery of Lagos-based businessman of 1.5 million naira. The Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Clement Adeboye, announced the suspension of Victory Ehiante on Sunday while addressing journalists on the main campus in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. Adeboye says university authorities had decided that Ehiante be placed on indefinite suspension in line with regulations guiding studentship pending the determination of her case. Adeboye expressed shock at the allegation leveled against the accused and inferred that her case was a deviation from his standards and character and in learning. He appealed to his fellow students to not get themselves involved in any criminal activities, saying the university would not condone such acts. Recall that Ehiante, who hails from Edo State, was arrested by men of the Osun State Police Command after allegedly luring her social media boyfriend from Lagos State to Ikere, where her boyfriend, known as Ifanla, and his other cohorts robbed the victim of his phone and transferred over 1.5 million out of his account. Elsewhere, medical doctors in Cross River State have withdrawn their services until further notice following the kidnap of one of their colleagues from her residence in Calabar on Thursday. The chairman of the Nigeria Medical Association NMA Cross River State chapter, Dr. Felix Achibong, confirmed the development in a letter on Sunday after an emergency general meeting in Calabar. The association called on the state government and security agencies to see to the release of their member. The doctors noted that despite all their efforts in ensuring the release of their colleague, Ephraim has remained in captivity. The association thereafter resolved to, quote, embark on a total and indefinite withdrawal of medical services effective immediately in solidarity with their member still in the hands of her abductors. Now, the state chapter of the NMA says the withdrawal of medical services will involve all hospitals in the state, both federal and state, including private and mission facilities. They call on the state government to activate all necessary instruments at its disposal to ensure the timely and at the rate of 2,000 naira as new yams begin to flood the markets. Farmers blame the rising cost of the commodity to a change in the rainfall pattern this year, as well as fuel subsidy removal. Our correspondent spoke to some buyers and sellers in Yoro local government area of the state, as well as the Jalingo main market in Taraba State over the availability of the new product in the market.
Taraba State is one of the states in the country that produces large quantity of yam every year from different areas of the state. Yoro, Zinc, Wukari, Wakum and Ibi local government areas are major yam producing areas in the state. Samuel Sunday and Darius Moses are yam farmers in Yoro local government area. They said that yam is usually planted around November and December, and they harvest it between May and June. It is actually very disheartening for price of yam to go up. We are doing our best. First subsidy and transportation has actually made the price of yam very expensive. Yam sellers at Malang Audu area of Yoro local government area. According to them, 100 pieces of new yam cost 150,000 and 200,000 naira, as against last year when the same amount of yam is sold between 60,000 and 80,000 naira depending on the size.
What is happening this year is different from what was last year. Look and see the example. I bought one that rat has even eaten it. I was asked to pay 1,000. Unless for this school, they will tell me that it's 1,700. So you can't compare this year with last year condition.
In Jalingo Main Market, Abubakar Sadiq, both sellers of old and new yam said that lack of access road and full subsidy removal are factors responsible for the price hike. They are, however, optimistic the price will come down when the market is flooded with yam later in the year. President Bola Tinubu has on Friday declared emergency on food inflation and water availability to address rising costs.
Now, the World Bank has attributed the frequent building collapse in Lagos State to gaps and loopholes in the building permit acquisition process and the use of unqualified professionals in the design and construction of buildings. The bank revealed this in a report on housing regulatory framework standards in sub-Saharan Africa. It also listed the absence of a legally adopted building design code, limited land available for development, and a lack of systems to ensure the quality of construction materials, as well as other reasons buildings cave in regularly across Lagos State. According to the bank, only about 10% of construction sites obtain permits, and even when permits are being obtained, final construction can still deviate from their requirements. A report by the Lagos State branch of the Building Collapse Prevention Guild early this year revealed that 115 incidents of building collapse occurred in the capital city in the last 10 years. Now, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, has assured that the 10th National Assembly will create constitutional roles for traditional rulers across the country. The Speaker said this when he paid a visit, his first official visit to the Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmad Nuhu Bamali, after his emergence as the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives.
Abbas, who received a rousing welcome at the palace, said he and the majority of the current members in the House understand the importance of the traditional institution, saying they will do the needful to ensure a role is created for them in the Constitution. I want to assure you today that my colleagues and I, who are from traditional ruling houses, and others who share similar sentiments, will go back and look at the position paper written by the traditional leaders in order to ensure that the traditional institution has a place in this current political dispensation. In his remarks, Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, said the request for roles for traditional rulers in the Constitution is not an attempt to create another tier of government. The role of the traditional institution cannot be overemphasized because the traditional institution has played important roles since from First Republic, Second Republic, and even till today. I am aware that the majority of the members here have direct or indirect relationships with the traditional institution. I am speaking on behalf of the Northern traditional rulers. We are expecting the present National Assembly to look for the bill, dust it, work on it, and ensure that it is passed into law. The Speaker also, in a meeting with stakeholders in Zaria, Kaduna State, with National Assembly members in attendance, thanked members of his constituency for giving him the mandate.
Particularly during the campaign of 2022, where I pleaded to them to give me another chance, because that chance, if given to me, will enable me to come back for the fourth time. And coming back as a fourth-timer gives you a lot of opportunities, particularly as regards to the leadership of the House. And thank God, by His grace and by the support of our people, that prayer was answered. I was duly elected.
70 House of Representatives members accompanied the Speaker to his hometown, Zaria, to receive royal blessing and to thank the people of Zaria and Kaduna State at large. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still to come, we'll take a look at poverty and its contributing factor to child malnutrition. Details coming up ahead after the break. Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. Here's a quick recap of our top stories at this hour. Abubakar Kyari emerges acting chairman of the APC as he replaces Senator Abdullahi Adamu. The federal government to unveil new program to tackle banditry in northwest Nigeria. In Osun State, Muslims have been advised to remain calm as controversy trails Governor Ademola Adeleke's commissioner nominees. The president of Osun State Muslim community, Mustafa Olawi, cautioned against heating up the polity on religious grounds. Hamid Oyegbade reports.
Governor Adeleke recently submitted the names of his commissioner nominees to the Osun State House of Assembly for screening and confirmation. The list generated controversy based on the analysis of the religion of each of the nominees. But at a press conference in Osogbo to herald events marking the new Hijra Islamic year 1445, the president of Osun State Muslim community, Mustafa Olawi, said no cause for alarm on Adeleke's appointment.
The first appointment made by the Governor Nuruddin Adeleke, was that of the SSB, the Secretary of the State Government, which is a top government position in this state. He's a Muslim, not just ordinary, he's a committed Muslim brother. Those who know him knows that. Number two, he went further to appoint another Muslim as the chief of staff.
Speaking on the significance of Hijra celebration, Muslim leaders advised Muslims to be more familiar with lunar calendar to enable them partake in important Islamic events and activities.
The essence of Hijra is to ensure that there is peace in the nation. There is peace in the state. There is peace within the community. Then there will be development.
When Muhammad was alive, it has been mentioned that it's better to start counting our days from the day Hijra was made. And when he died, after him, they started calculating from the day Hijra started.
As the 12th and last month on the Islamic calendar, Dhul Hijjah winds down, adherents of Islam look forward to the new Hijra year 1445. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Now, poverty has been identified as one of the major causes of malnutrition among many children in Nigeria today, especially in the northeastern part of the country. Now, this was disclosed by health workers in Gombe State during a visit to health facilities by a group of journalists drawn from 4 states of the region and the FCT Abuja. Trust TV's Adamu Imam tells us more.
According to United Nations Children's Education Fund, UNICEF, the first 1,000 days of a child are crucial for physical development and brain growth. Nutrition during pregnancy, breastfeeding period as well. Babies' nurturing care in the first 2 years are extremely important. At the health facility center Kumbia, members of the media drawn from Adamawa, Bauchi, Gombe, Taraba and Abuja observed some activities towards improving life of a baby and nursing mothers, while health workers explain further.
First, if she comes in the labor room, take her BP first, PCB, to know whether her blood is okay for her to deliver successfully. We take her BP without any high BP or low BP, then we admit her for the delivery.
We immunize newborn babies, that's BCG, at least 105. And for Penta 1, we immunize one less, as in 133.
Dr. Sharen, UNICEF Bauchi Field Office, while talking to journalists at the media engagement, says first 1,000 days is a time spanning between conception and second birthday of a child, noting that maternal health and child nutrition can determine the child's ability to grow, and poor nutrition will cause irreversible damage for growing brain.
I think it's work in progress, but definitely, as I said, if we even lose one child, it's something that...
Adding that intervention from 0 to 6 months of a child's life include exclusive breastfeeding, immunization, infection prevention, and nurturing care of a baby. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Now, the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics has said that the headline inflation rate in the country rose to 22.79% in June when compared to the 22.41% recorded in May this year. The NBS, in its monthly Consumer Price Index report released on Monday, says the increase of 0.38%, saying that the year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 4.19% points higher compared to the rate recorded in June 2022, which was 18.06%. Now, it stated that the increase was caused by increases in price of oil and fat, bread and cereal, fish, potatoes, yam and other tubers, fruits, meat, vegetable, milk, cheese and eggs. Now, others include passenger transportation fares hike as well as vehicles SPA. Now, the liquid fuel and lubricants for personal transportation equipment, medical services, passengers, transportation fares by road, among many others. It added that food inflation rate in June of 2023 was 25.25% year-on-year, which was a 4.65% points higher relative to the rate recorded in June of 2022. Now, while on a month-on-month basis, the food inflation rate in June was at 2.40%. This was 0.21% points higher compared to the rate recorded in May this year. The Bureau of Statistics says the average annual rate of food inflation for the 12 months ending June 2023 over the previous 12 months averages was about 24.03%. This was 5.41% points increase from the average annual rate of change recorded in June of 2022. Now let's turn our attention to developments on the international scene, because Ukraine says fighting has intensified in the east of the country as Russia's President Vladimir Putin dismisses Kiev's counteroffensive as a failure. A top Ukrainian defense official said on Sunday that Russian forces and Ukrainian troops were clashing in at least 3 areas in the Eastern Front. Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar said on Telegram that Russian forces have been attacking in the direction of Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region for 2 successive days. Maliar also says the 2 armies were pummeling one another around the ruined city of Bakhmut, but that Ukrainian forces were, quote, gradually moving forward along the southern flank. She says Kiev's troops also fending off Russian attacks near Arkivka and Marinka in the Donetsk region of Ukraine. And that's the size of our update at this hour. Thank you very much for your time and company. Feel free to follow us across all our social media platforms for more content. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for your time and company.